skip a whole section of the sermon. I can't really get into how we're consecrated. I wish I had time to get into that. Listen, I'm just going to put a quick asterisk by it. Notice that he says, bless the Lord. Did you see that text in there? I always ask myself, well, how on earth am I going to bless the Lord? Because I ain't really got nothing to give him. I mean, he is the man that has everything. So what am I to give him? Well, the word blessed is derived from an Old English word, blessing. The Old English word blessing means to consecrate or to make holy. Now listen to that word, blessing. And in it you hear another word that sounds an awful lot like bleed. For it is derived from another word that means to mark with blood. Yeah. Now they're using the word blessed to replace a Hebrew word which means worship. So in that word blessed, I have three concepts being born by that one word. One, to consecrate or to make holy. Two, to mark with blood. Three, to give worship. The text says that I'm supposed to lift my hands up and bless the Lord. But the sense of the verse really means that in order for me to bless the Lord and really worship, I must acknowledge that I have been consecrated. My consecration has been because I've been marked with blood, and that I have been set aside for the purpose of worship. My purpose is to worship him. Now see, again, that would be the first night of a 3-night revival. You have been designed to worship is what I'm supposed to do. This is not something unusual for me, but when I got set aside by him, he set me aside so I would open up my mouth and worship him. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. When I come in here and act a complete fool because God has been good to me, I'm doing what I was designed to do. When I get home and I just get to stomp my feet, I'm doing what I was consecrated to do. It is my purpose to worship him. And I think some of you have forgotten that. I think you think you're here because you work at your job. I think you think you're here because of your kids. I think you think you're here because of your spouse. But you're not here for any of those reasons. You have been created to worship him. Having recognized that that is my purpose, how do I do it? He said, throw your hands up. That's what the book says. He don't say throw your hands up, but you get to lift your hands up. In the sanctuary. When I worship him, what I am simply doing is I'm acknowledging how he has revealed himself in my life. I'm looking at my life and God has allowed me to see some of the work that he's doing in my life. And as I begin to consider what he's doing in my life, I begin to worship him. I begin to look at my life and consider the fact that he has been thoughtful enough to come into my life, to meet me at my living room table, to deal with my problem, to handle my kids, to help me on my job, to carry me through my life. I'm not worried about what he's doing for the rest of y'all, but I can just look at him revealing himself to me. He got me up this morning. He showed up at my address. All these other folk he had to deal with, but he came my way, woke me up, said, David, it's time to get up. Let your legs work. Let your feet get to the floor. Let your head get on up. Because I love you. Guess what? I put the sun out there. So he's been waiting on you. You got up this morning. I'm the one who showed up to deal with you. And the more I consider that, the happier I get. Now, when I throw my hands up, what I'm really doing, since he has revealed his glory in my life, I am giving him his glory back. He reveals his glory to me. I throw my hands up to give him a little bit back. Give a little of your glory back at you. You've been so good to me. Let me toss it back at you. Give me a little bit of your own glory right back. I'm not giving you what's mine. I'm giving you back what's yours. You reveal. I wish I had about 4 days I could really preach this thing. So I'm tossing part makes more sense. Because the only way, how many of y'all got a mirror? I got a big mirror in my house, I got 5 kids. And so the mirror always got fingerprints on it. Because for some reason they're all drawn to go touch the mirror. And because it gets fingerprints on it, it does not show the image in its reflection accurately. So what I have to do, I have to go to the mirror and I have to clean it off. Because as I clean it off, it reflects this image back accurately. So if what I'm really doing is giving God his glory back, that when my mirror gets messed up, I've got to concentrate myself and clean my mirror. Because I want him to be able to see himself clearly in my life. I don't want this mess getting in the way of me being able to show you how good you are. So let me make sure I clean myself up. I want to give you the glory. I'm not worried about what folks think. I want you to be able to see yourself in my life accurately. So I'm reflecting his glory back to him. Well, what does he do in response to that? He shows more of his glory. The more I see of him, the more I worship him. The more I worship him, the more he lets me see. The more he lets me see, the more I worship him. The more I worship him, the more he lets me see. You know, it gets so bad sometimes that his glory becomes blinding to me. And what do when I'm hit with a blinding light? I throw my hands up to him. Lord, you got too much coming in. Lord, you're just too good. Lord, you're just too great. Lord, you're just too magnificent. It's too much for me. Now, a mirror does not just reflect light, it also refracts light. All the light that comes into a mirror does not go back to its source. Some of the light gets broken and sent in other directions. They call that refraction is what I'm told. I asked a friend of mine about that. So I think what happens when we come together and worship is that some of my praise gets refracted to the rest of y'all. Now, it's not that I care whether y'all get it or not. I'm interested in worshiping him. But so much of his glory is flooding my way that